black instrument between his legs up there, that would have been the Northern bomb sight. He just released his seatbelt, leaned forward, dropped the bombs. He's a part-time bombardier and a part-time gunner, so he had a gun sight up there too, so when he wasn't bombing, he could be a gunner. Two pilots facing forward. On the other side, facing backwards. If you want a good picture of that, you go like down a step or two and take a picture back at it. It's a little bit easier. So the flight engineer on their side, he did ran all the systems: fuel, electricity, start and stop the engines, all those type of things. So the pilot, the engines are just too big and complicated for me to drive the boat and keep the engines going. So, navigator here, radio operator over there. So 6 in the front. Had 4 more in the back. They were all gunners, but they weren't the kind of gunners that held the gun and aimed them. They had a gun sight. Wherever they turned their gun sights, whatever gun they were assigned would turn and slew to wherever the gun would match up with the gun sight. The circle up above, the circle down below is where the forward guns were. They stuck down a couple feet, came up a couple feet, had motors to turn them, had the ammo belts already hooked up. So they were pretty much a self-contained vehicle. Okay. So set here, set midship back, and then 2 tailguns. So there's 5 sets of guns. 50 caliber. Each barrel had about 500 bullets. So there's 4 barrels up here, 2 barrels there. So they had 3,000 bullets up here. Japanese aircraft weren't built very strong. No self-sealing tanks, so it only took a couple hits. But the plane was first plane to fly, be pressurized and fly above 30,000 feet. This hatch actually would go into that hole that you came through, and the pressurization came off the engines into the tunnel, and then it went both ways. So at 30,000 feet, they keep the pressurization at about, take it down to about 6,000 feet. And so it'd be like being in the zero grade. They ran the air through a heat exchanger, like warm up the air to 30 below. It was coming in at about 60 to 70 degrees. So they could keep the temperature here nice. They didn't have to wear the sheets getting close. So the fact is, they were flying 15-hour missions. They didn't have to be on oxygen. Where the heavy clothing allowed for recovery time. This airframe was built right at the end of 44, entered service in 55. From 45 to 56, it was active duty in the Air Force as a radar platform. Okay. About 25% of them will be B-29. They're all made the same, but then they said, okay, you're going to go be a radar plane. You don't need those guns. You take the guns off, save the weight. Some were reconnaissance, some were refueling airplanes, so they had a lot. And, so this was 56, and the Air Force gave the Navy 260,000 out in California. So dropping bombs, shooting at it, it turned out that some guy in the 60s was going to do that for the same big ones. Lucky for us that this was one of them. In the year 2000, our group got control of the airplane, broke it into 7 big pieces, and trucked it to Wichita. Okay. And they spent the next 16 years restoring it. Right? Yep. So from 2000 to 2016, so it basically flew for 11 years, sat for 60 years, and our group got control of it. And been flying.